Hey, this is Jason Eady, and this is Real Life, Real Music.
Real Life, Real Music Radio with your host, Kyle Hutton.
You can tell me about how great this place is, but it's really great.
Isn't this cool?
This is amazing.
Yeah. Jason's like, man, Kyle, usually you put me up in hotels where I can see through the towels. Like, this place is good. Welcome to Uncle Spencer's house. I'm going to wear that out tonight. I'm sorry, Spencer. I apologize in advance. Jason, man, it's really good to see. I mean, you know, I feel like we get to run into each other at music festivals and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I always appreciate when we have the chance to hang out and talk, whether it's over coffee or over guitars. And I'm just glad that you're here tonight. So thanks for taking time out of your schedule to be here.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for including me.
I want to, normally I tell the artist to just kick off with what they want to kick off with, but I don't want to do that tonight.
All right.
I want
It's
to
your show.
request.
You can do whatever you want to.
I want to request the song right off the bat.
Okay.
And it's a song that, if I'm remembering correct, I think one of our early Stella Sessions guests, Jack Ingram, cut this song as part of Bruce Robison's next waltz.
Right.
And it's a song you wrote called "That's Why I Left Atlanta."
Right.
I wonder if you could tell us about that song and play it for us. I love this song.
Yeah, so the story behind it is one of the things we do. Yeah, I think you're in a couple of these, but the songwriting groups, you know, we realized a long time ago, they may have been going on for a while, but when I started getting into them, it was because a bunch of us realized that one of the things that songwriters are the worst at doing is actually sitting down and writing songs, right? Because there's everything else that goes into it. There's the touring and the business, especially if you're independent, doing it independent. You know, you're running the business and you're touring and you're doing all the things. So actually sitting down and writing songs is something you have to really carve time out for, and we're pretty bad at doing it, you know. So we start these songwriting groups. There's like 10 people in them, and they'll give a prompt every week, and you have to turn a song in by that Friday night about that prompt, and you got to turn it in good or bad, and that's the trick to making it work, right? Yeah. Is you just got to turn the song in. You can't judge it because, you know, if I knew how to write a great song every week, I'd have 52 great songs every year. You know what I mean? I haven't figured out that formula yet. So it's kind of funny. They got these Dropbox folders that everybody puts them in, and we have to swear on our life that nobody will ever get into these folders because it's these great songwriters turning into these pretty crappy songs sometimes. You know. But anyway, So that's where this song came from. There was one week. There was a snowstorm in Atlanta. I think they call it Snowmageddon still to this day. There was a freak snowstorm that came through Atlanta, and it came through so fast, nobody was expecting it to be as bad as it was. This was probably 2013 or 14, and it came through so fast that people got stuck on the interstate. Like they just shut the interstate down while people were on it. And people had to sleep in their cars overnight, and it was really bad. So anyway, nobody could get out of Atlanta. So the theme that week was everybody had to write a song about leaving Atlanta, getting out of Atlanta. So there's actually 10 of these things out there, and I just went ahead and got mine out first before everybody else did. Heading west on 20, just past Birmingham. Not sure where I'm going, I just can't turn back again. And I got headlights on the highway, I got a heart that's way back home, and a picture of a life I lost to remind me why I'm gone. And that's why Atlanta. I drove away in an early morning haze. Yes, that's why I left Atlanta. Me and Georgia seen our better days. We settled outside the City. We bought a house and a little land, built our hopes on dreaming till those dreams got out of hand. Well, I was after something I could never be. I guess she finally grew too tired of waiting around on me, and that's why I left Atlanta. I drove away in an early morning haze. Yes, that's why I left Atlanta. Me and Georgia seen our better days. I wish she could have held on a little longer. I wish I could have been a little stronger. God knows things don't always work out like we planned. Well, I could tell you my story, I just don't know how it will end. So I'll keep right on driving until I run out of gas. I'll start again where I end up, ain't no use in looking back. And that's why I left Atlanta. I drove away in an early morning haze. Yes, that's why I left Atlanta. Me and Georgia seen our better days. Me and Georgia seen our better days.
All right, so your most recent two studio releases have the namesake of the state where you grew up, right?
That's right. Yep.
Mississippi. Tell us where in Mississippi you grew up.
Just south of Jackson, right in the middle of the state, a little town called Florence, Mississippi. It's also, I went to high school with the guy that's now the governor of Mississippi. We both graduated from the same high school there. But yeah, Florence, Mississippi.
All right. And one of the things that I think that not only me, but like when I go to these festivals and, they bring all of the group, you got the Texas crew, you got the Oklahoma crew, you've got, the scene, right? And yet, there's a few outliers, what I would consider outliers, like the Braun brothers from Idaho. And, you've got a few of the folks, and man, the whole Mississippi, the kind of the blues element and some of the stuff that you do guitar wise and rhythmic wise, that's, off the Texas red dirt beaten path, I think is what people have grown to love, and it's kind of become your signature of your music and what you do.
Yeah, what drew me to this scene. So when I moved to Texas, I was almost 30, and I had given up any idea of ever playing music professionally again. I did it when I was younger, and then I joined the Air Force for a while and got out, and just kind of when I moved to Texas, I moved here for a job. They transferred me over here, and I had a wife and daughter, and I just thought, okay, music, that dream didn't happen, and then got to Texas and started playing open mics just for fun, and I would do a lot of open mics with, I would go in and do cover songs because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. Everywhere else in the country, that's what you're supposed to do, right? And then in Texas, people would come up and they'd say, "What's the matter? You don't have your own songs?" And I said, "All right, this is different. I like this." And then I found Robert O'Keefe, Charlie Robison, Robert O'Keefe. Those were the two that kind of got me into the whole thing. And I just realized, especially with Robert, that you can just do whatever the hell you want to, like there's no... there's no genre in Robert Earl Keen. You know, I actually think Robert Earl Keen is a genre of music. And anyway, so that's what kind of pulled me into the whole thing, was this like no rules. You know, you can just, and even when I started looking into it, they call it Texas and red dirt and all that, and they called it Texas country, but I mean, you had ragweed, you know, they weren't really country music. And I mean, it was country in that it was kind of roots based, maybe more, but yeah, it kind of anything went, which was what blew me away. And it was like this one community in this one genre of music, but it was all of these things, you know. I mean, just all the different kinds of honky-tonk bands and rock bands and singer-songwriters, and it's all one big thing. And so that's what really drew me to the whole thing. So yeah, it's been great to get to come over here and bring my Mississippi stuff with me.
Well, one of the songs that I love watching you play that I think is very telling of your roots is "Lonesome Down and Out." Yeah, I wonder if you'd play. Yeah, tell us about that one and play that song for us.
I can do that. That's this song. I was married to Courtney Patton for 10 years, and we were friends for a long time before we ever even started dating. And so we got together one day to write. She wanted to write, and we had met a long time before, and then we were both fresh off of divorces, and so went over to her house, and we sat down to write this song, and it turned out to be our first date. We didn't realize it at the time, but we kind of started talking that day, and we're together ever since, you know. And I mean, until recently, but we're still great friends. I just talked to her upstairs just a few minutes ago. She's we're great friends still. But we wrote this together. This was the first one of the first things we ever did together. I started running after the stay and failed to work. I got used to living a little heartbroken and hurt. Might seem reckless, 'cause I'm living a little out, when the truth is I'm just lonesome, down and out. When I wake up with an aching feeling I cannot hide, I start shaking, I'm just breaking down inside. Just don't ask me, 'cause I won't tell you, I'm much too proud, when the truth is I'm just lonesome, down and out. Well, I tried to convince myself that I can't feel the pain, soak it up with whiskey, then I walk out in the rain. Stumble down the street while I scream and shout, when the truth is I'm just lonesome, down and out. Well, I'm standing on a mountain, one I built with guilt and shame, looking out on the messes I've made. I wish that I could go back down and say I'm sorry without a doubt, when the truth is I'm just lonesome, down and out. Well, I try to convince myself that I can't feel the pain, soak it up with whiskey, then I'll walk out in the rain. Stumble down the street while I scream and shout, when the truth is I'm just lonesome, down and out. Stumble down the street while I scream and shout, when the truth is I'm just lonesome, down and out. Yeah.
love that song.
Thanks.
Kind of telling that was y'all's first date, and that's the song you came up
right?
with.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah, that was the song. But I thought, man, I'd never. I mean, here's this girl, and she wants to write these like whiskey drinking country songs. I'm in. But yeah, and then also that was our first date. So yeah.
Sorry to be Captain Obvious there, but all right. So let's talk about the record that you named after your home state, Mississippi. We got to come in and do a little bit of video work in the studio over at the finishing school while you were making that record, Mississippi, and then you went back in and did acoustic versions, right?
Yeah, which I'm going to start doing in general. I think every time I make a record, I'm going to make the album, and then like while I'm there, I'm just going to do an acoustic version of the same thing. Because I write these songs by myself, and they all start on acoustic guitar, and I play a lot. I play probably half my shows solo, and so I don't know. It's just, why not? If you're in the studio, go ahead and sit down. And I mean, it took me 30 minutes to make that acoustic record. I literally just sat down in the studio, and the guy hit record, and I just played all the songs and moved on.
Well, I think one of the most interesting things for me as a songwriter has been, you write something and you get used to how it emotes, right? Like through the instrument and through your phrasing and everything else. Then you take it into the studio and you put it to a click track and you put it, you know what I mean? You build everything around it. What's the song on the record, Mississippi, that when you came back and recorded the acoustic version, you went, this is the pocket for this one. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like I changed it because of the record?
Well, is there one that just feels the best for you playing it acoustic versus the album version?
Yeah. Well, oh man. I mean, I love them all. I love both the band versions and the solo versions. The one that changed the most, like the one that what we did with the band changed the whole song, was a song called Misty. And it turned out completely different than the way I had written it, feel-wise. And I loved what we came up with in the studio so much that when I went back to do it acoustic, I did it.
You did it that way?
I did it like I didn't go back to my old way. Yeah.
You want to play that one for us?
Sure. Yeah. Let me tune this back up.
Are y'all doing okay out there? All right. Y'all are being such a good audience, and I'm watching you guys, and then every once in a while I see lightning going off in the background, and
storms are crazy.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm a big J.J. Cale fan, and we did this Mississippi album, and it's kind of paying tribute to the roots and blues sound that I grew up with in Mississippi. But we also kind of caught ourselves referencing the Tulsa sound a lot too. The J.J. Cale stuff that was going on up there, and so this one we really kind of dug into J.J. world, and I can talk more about that later if you want, because I'm about to make another record that leans even heavier into that side. But this is definitely kind of a Tulsa sound influenced song. Since you've been away, I've been staying away, trying not to lose my mind, waiting on your call with no word at all. Honey, won't you give me a sign? Oh, Misty, say you missed me, and tell me it'll be alright. Oh, Misty, say you missed me, so I can get to sleep tonight. Well, I know that you left, needing time for yourself. Believe me, I understand, but it's been too long, I feel like there's something wrong. Or maybe I just got too much time on my hands. Oh, Misty, say you missed me, and tell me it'll be alright. Misty, say you missed me, so I can get to sleep tonight. Well, maybe I'm just going crazy. Maybe I'm just all in my head. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into all those things that you haven't said. Well, I'm glad that you called. I wasn't worried at all. I knew that you'd come around. But something's changed, no, you don't sound the same. Just give me a sign, keep me from coming unwound. Oh, Misty, say you missed me, and tell me it'll be alright. Oh, Misty, say you missed me, so I can get to sleep tonight. Oh, Misty, say you missed me, so I can get to sleep tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that. Okay. So where, do you remember when music kind of became your thing? Like, was there somebody you listened to when you were a kid or something and you went, okay, that I'm connecting with that? Like, who were some of those first influences for you that really grabbed you?
My grandfather always had these 8-track cassette tapes of Merle Haggard, and so that's where it really got started. But that whole era, you know, that late 70s, early 80s, Hag and Willie Nelson was doing all that stuff. Don Williams, you know, those things are what really, that's the stuff I really got connected to. But I don't know, man. I just, as long as I can remember, I just knew I wanted to do this. Even as a kid, I remember like hearing the radio and just like thinking I was going to be on the radio one day. You know, I don't know. It was just one of those things that it was just always there. It wasn't, and not like in a, maybe this will happen one day. It was just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of was a given, which is crazy because I did walk away from it for about 10 years and then came back to it. But I don't know, I just always knew. I was just always there, yeah.
So while we're on the radio, okay, then why don't you tell us about AM Country Heaven?
Yeah.
You wrote it. I like when I first heard this song, I was like, all right, he just said it.
Yeah.
He just said it. So if there's any like Florida Georgia Line fans in the audience, I'm like, that's cool. You be you.
Yeah.
But this was kind of the anti. Yeah, I just liked it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I wrote this. I was driving down to Luckenbach, and like I said, I had gotten over here and got really into the Texas music thing. And, you know, there's radio stations here that just play that music. And so I'd really gotten immersed in it for a long time, and I had quit listening to mainstream radio. And I was driving down to Luckenbach, and I turned on the radio. It was Sunday afternoon, and it was the Bob Kingsley's Country Countdown was on that,
all right.
You know, and it was just in time, and I caught the tail end of it, and they were announcing the number one song, and the number one song that week was Honky Tonk Badonka-Donk, and you know, I had just heard Robert O'Keefe singing "Feeling Good Again" over on this one station, and then there's Honky Tonk Badonka-Donk on the other, and I said, "Oh my God, this is different than I don't remember it being like this," and so then I turned it over, and there's in the hill country and really all around Texas, there's just these amazing AM stations that just play the old stuff, you know, the country music, and so that's what I wrote this about. Well, they sang about Jesus, they sang about Jones, and they sang of American pride. but they're all too damn clean, polished like stones, and they won't sing about cheating or lies. Well, I remember the days when the singers just sang and left it all in the stories they tell. These days we're in AM country heaven and FM country hell. Well, I miss the days when the women were ugly and the men were all 40 years old. All right, can I go off on a thing here? So I always hated that line. I wrote it, and then the second I recorded it, I just wish I hadn't done it. Because what I meant to say was, there was this, when I was writing the song, there was this trend going on in Nashville that for women to get signed, they had to be like these cover models, just these supermodel looking people, and that was the number one criteria. And then if you could sing and stuff, that was a bonus, you know what I mean? But the look thing was a big part of that, and it's gotten a lot better since then, which is great. But it really bothered me. I hated seeing that, and that's what I meant to say. And but I didn't have that many syllables. I just had a few syllables. So I said women were ugly, and then but it does imply that I think that, Tammy Wynette and Loretta Lynn and Dolly Parton and all them were ugly, and I definitely do not think that. I just want to get that down on the record. I do not. And about 3 years ago, I got asked to make my Grand Ole Opry debut, which was really cool. And yeah, it was really a special night. And leading up to it, people were asking me. They said, "You're going to play AM Country Heaven on the Opry, right? You're going to stick it to them." And I said, 100% I'm not going to play AM Country Heaven on the Opry. But it had nothing to do with the content of the song or anything like that. It's because I'm not going to stand on the Opry stage and say the women were ugly in a song. I'm not going to do it. But I wrote it, so here we go. Well, I miss the days when the women were ugly and the men were all 40 years old. 'Cause you had to say something for people to listen, and now they just do what they're told. Well, it's all about idols, pretty blonde hair, and how many trucks you can sell. Out here in AM country heaven and FM country hell. Well, out on these back roads, only real truth that I know don't cross a radio band. It cuts through static like a chill in the air. It fades out, then it comes back again. Well, I don't mean to sound jaded, 'cause I know there are plenty young singers who aren't up for sale. But they're all stuck in AM country heaven and FM country hell. Well, I knew it was over the day that I overheard a record executive cry. Keep it all simple, don't get offensive, and don't play songs in 3/4 time. Well, Mr. Record Man, I hope you don't take offense, but you're a hell of a joke, I can tell. You're the reason we're in AM country heaven and FM country hell. You're the reason we're in AM country heaven and FM country. Hey. All right.
Oh, yeah. Do y'all get what I'm saying about my daddy's old turntable on Saturday and Sunday mornings? God, that reminds me of that. Okay, so another thing, Jason, that I've noticed about your writing over the years, not just in stuff that you've recorded, but stuff that other people have recorded that you've written, is kind of the influence of not only the blues, but like the gospel and the blues in your stuff. Like where, I mean, obviously that's, you know, that's a Mississippi Delta kind of thing, but talk to us a little bit about that, and then maybe pick, like I love all the stuff that you did with the Trishas and that you've done with Courtney and Jamie and those. Just pick one that you want to play, but tell us about that side of what you do.
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up in this, going to this little backwoods church in Mississippi, and it was an Assembly of God, but it was like one of those holy roller, you know, jump up in the aisles and shout and speaking in tongues and clapping along to the music, and you know, it was Southern gospel, and it was fun. Oh man, Sundays were fun, and sometimes the energy would be going so much, you know, that the preacher would get up to preach, and he said, as he kind of took his time, he'd get up there and go, "The Lord just told me today's going to be a music day," and then he'd sit back down and we'd just sing songs all day, and that was really, I loved it. And it was one of those churches, we had there wasn't a choir, we had a bluegrass band instead of a choir.
That's awesome.
It was just the music part of that was great. So I just, from day one, was kind of, that Southern gospel music thing was just ingrained, because that was probably the first place I heard music live. You know, I mean, I grew up with listening to it on the radio, but that was probably my first, like, feeling music. You know, around me, people, actual voices singing and people playing instruments and stuff was in that church. So yeah, that definitely stuck with me.
Pick something that kind of has that you know, wrapped up in it that you can play for us.
That feel.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do this one. This was the title track to the Mississippi album, and it talks about that. Talks about the Southern gospel. It talks about all my musical influences. Oh no, you know what? I got one that's better for this. But don't let me forget. I want to come back to that one. This is one that came straight from the feel of that old church. I haven't done this in years, so we'll see how this goes. Got baptized when I was 10. Got a little dirty, so I did it again. Preacher said, "Son, why you back so soon?" I said, "Let's get this done, I got things to do." I was saved in the morning, I was back that afternoon. Well, I sang hallelujah, and I shout amen, and I wrestle with the devil, and sometimes I'll win, sometimes I lose. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I got these no good living while I'm loving roadhouse singing, good time, God-fearing blues. I turned 18 and I left home. God bless my soul, and I was ready to roam. I walked through the desert and I turned around. Nobody ever told me about the things I found. I went back to the river. This time I thought I might drown. Well, I sang hallelujah, and I shout amen, and I wrestle with the devil, and sometimes I'll win, sometimes I lose. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I got these no good living while I'm loving roadhouse singing, good time, God-fearing blues. I keep my hands in my pocket, keep my thoughts to myself. Keep my liquor on the very top shelf. It's good to meet you, preacher, but I just can't stay. I'm gonna get to heaven, but I'm going my way. I may see you Sunday morning, I see you on Judgment Day. Well, I'll sing hallelujah, and I'll shout amen, and I'll wrestle with the devil, and sometimes I'll win, sometimes I lose. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I got these no good living, wild line of loving, roadhouse singing, good time, God-fearing blues. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I got these no good living, hard time loving, roadhouse singing, good time, God-fearing blues. Yeah, all right, thanks.
Okay, because you said it in that song, it made me remember another one of your songs called Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah.
You still play that one?
I do. Let me grab this other guitar.
All right.
So, I just got that guitar I was just playing. I got it back in January, and I love it. It's kind of my dream guitar. I've been wanting it as long as I've been playing music. I've been wanting that particular guitar. I finally got it, but it's real nice, you know, and it's a little delicate. And sometimes I just like to hit my guitar real hard, you know. And that's where this one comes in. You getting this?
We seeing that one, Jesse?
Nope. I'm getting to the tuner, so it's all right. I can go back to the other one. I just can't beat the hell out of it. I just gotta beat.
Or do you want to plug into that line so you can beat the other one?
It's gonna feed back.
All right.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll just, you know, I got to start hitting this thing at some point. Okay, here we go. If I put a hole in this thing, we're gonna. All right, here we go. When I hear night wind moan, when I hear the night wind moan, when I hear the night wind moan, they gonna roll away the stone. When I hear night wind moan, when I hear him call my name, when I hear him call my name, when I hear him call my name, I know my soul soon be saved. When I hear him call my name, oh my Lord, can't take back what came before. Get down on my knees and pray, bow my head, it's Judgment Day. When that crowd shall gather round, when that crowd shall gather round, when that crowd shall gather round, will they make a mournful sound? When that crowd shall gather round. Lay me down on this bed. Lay me down upon this bed. Lay me down upon this bed. Let me rest my weary head. Lay me down on this bed. Oh, can't take back what came before. Get down on my knees and pray. Bow my head, it's Judgment Day. Oh my Lord, can't take back what came before. Get down on my knees and pray. Bow my head, it's Judgment Day.
No cracks in the finish. I'm looking. Yeah, I think you're.
Whew, makes me nervous.
I think we're good for now. Are y'all doing okay out there? Y'all having a good time tonight so far? Okay. All right. Man. Do what? Trey's having a good time? Where's Trey? Oh, you're right here. Wow, welcome. I think that was the mayor calling you out back there. He's good at that. All right. One of my favorite songs, and I always hesitate because I haven't heard you play this one in a while.
Yeah.
Just because I love the perspective of it, was a song you wrote called Barabbas.
Yeah, I can do that one. Yeah.
Tell us. I mean, I love that you just kind of took an interesting take on a familiar story.
Yeah, so a friend of mine, Larry Hooper, started this song, and he sent over the first verse, and he said he was thinking about it. You know, in the Bible, it talks about when Jesus was going to be crucified, there were 4 people up on trial, and they had 3 crosses, and so they would let somebody go, and it turns out that that's a very that was a very kind of ritual thing that they would do back then. They would always pardon somebody the day of the execution, you know. And so this particular day, it came down to Jesus and this guy named Barabbas, of who was going to get executed and who was going to get set free. And Barabbas was a really horrible guy, murderer, and definitely deserved to be there. And but they already knew that they were going to let him go and that they were going to execute Jesus. And Pontius Pilate, the Roman guy in charge, he didn't even want to make the call, So he turned it over. Like, he let the crowd decide, and they chanted "Free Barabbas," and that's it. That's the end in the Bible. That story ends right there. And so Larry had this idea. Said, "What if we?" Like, nobody talks about Barabbas after he got set free, what happened. And so then we started thinking about it, and if you, in general, if you get away with something, there's 2 ways you can go with that. You can either feel like you got away with something and, which is kind of a dirty way of thinking about it. It's like, I sneaky and I got away with this. Or you can feel great that you got away with it and use it as a reset in your life. Like, I barely got out of that one. I'm gonna turn things around. And so we chose to think that that's the route that he took, was that he used it as a way to turn around. So we wrote the song, and we intentionally did not say that it's Barabbas or anything like that in the song, because you just don't want to be. Sometimes if you're trying to get a bigger message like that across, it's easier to not be as polarizing. You know what I mean? So what we did was we just named the song Barabbas. And then if you want to look into what that is, and I was talking to somebody the other night that had done exactly that. Because they read the title, then they went and read the story. And but yeah, that's where this came from. Heard the judge ask the jury, which one's the one to go? And I heard him say my name, and why I'll never know. They unchained my feet, they unshackled my hands, and they let me go instead of that innocent man. Got got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. Make my way out west, maybe head down south. Live the life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand. The guilt hangs twice as heavy when it's followed by a surprise. I'd surrendered, I was ready to give up and do my time. I did not know his name, did not know why he was there, but on this side of forgiveness, we both have our cross to bear. Got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. Make my way out west, maybe head down south. Live the life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand. Well, I know that I am free, 'cause they did not like his kind. The man who preaches peace is always looking for a fight. Now I must go on, always knowing that I'm bound to try to make the best of this freedom I have found. I've got a second chance, I'm gonna make it count. Make my way out west, maybe head down south. Live the life of a pardoned man, believing in things I don't understand. Thanks.
That's a great song.
Thank you.
When did you cut that one? That one's been around for a while.
That was on a record that came out in 2016. Yeah. So almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's great. I mean,
time flies.
Oh my God, it's too much. Lately, it's every day there's something. I'm like, there's no way that's been 10 years.
Yep. Let's go back to the first track on the Mississippi record that you wanted to play for us.
Yeah. So this song, it kind of, it in one way, it kind of sets up what I did on the last record, but also it just kind of tells my musical journey. And like I said, growing up in Mississippi, one of the great things about that area musically is that it's such a crossroads of Southern music. And crossroads, as in the literal crossroads are there. In Mississippi Delta, there's Delta blues comes out of there, and Mississippi blues. But then there's country, and there's Southern gospel, and there's soul and R&B and Southern rock, and then jazz came up from New Orleans, and it all kind of had this merge right there, you know. So every verse in this song kind of tells a different genre that influenced me when I was growing up. Way down in Mississippi, I got the music in my bones. I'll take you there if you wanna come with me. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. Well, Mama and Daddy always had something going, whether we was home or driving around. The very first thing that I remember, singing along to the country sound. Way down in Mississippi, I got the music in my bones. I'll take you there if you wanna come with me. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. Well, we went to church with a jumping down shouting, singing hallelujah and clapping hands. I join in with that choir singing, one day we're gonna join that angel band. Way down in Mississippi, I got the music in my bones. I'll take you there if you wanna come with me. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. Tuesday nights we'd all get together, singing Ralph Stanley and Bill Monroe. I still love that bluegrass pick and learn to sing High Lonesome way down low. Way down in Mississippi, I got the music in my bones. I'll take you there if you wanna come with me. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. Well, I grew up and I started playing, and it ain't Mississippi without the blues. Everything changed on that old front porch when J.C. Cannon taught me that groove. Way down in Mississippi, I got the music in my bones. I'll take you there if you wanna come with me. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. After a while I made my way to Texas. I learned how the poets did it their own way. But I wouldn't be here making this music if it weren't for the sound of my younger days. Way down in Mississippi, I got the music in my bones. I'll take you there if you wanna come with me. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. Way down in Mississippi, I got the music in my bones. I'll take you there if you wanna come with me. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna go back home.
Man, that's a great one.
Thanks.
Man.
So one of my favorite things about that song is I got to mention, I had a guitar player when I was growing up, a guitar teacher. He was a blues guy, a Mississippi blues guy, and yeah, he taught me how to play without a pick, just finger style, Delta blues style playing music, and his name is J.C. Cannon, and I've been wanting to write a song about him forever, and so I got to say his name in that song, which is really cool for me. So yeah,
It's a very cool song. It's very funky. I like it. I love that picking style.
Hey, thanks.
And that's kind of become a cornerstone of your of what you do.
Yeah, it's definitely Delta blues. That's what it is. You know, because in the Delta it's a lot of solo guitar. That's kind of how the blues started, and so yeah, it started there. And then also I love bluegrass music a lot too, and so it's kind of a Delta blues, but then also like maybe a clawhammer banjo style at the same time. So just kind of smash those two together. Yeah.
The Jason Eady mashup.
Right.
I like it. I like it. All right. Y'all still doing good out there? Everybody good? Okay. Before I forget, I need to get a liner for the radio show. So you're going to say, this is Jason Eady, and this is real life, real music. And then you guys are going to go nuts, okay, for about 4 minutes, and then I'm going to stop you. No, I'm just kidding. I'll tell you when to be done.
Okay. Hey, this is Jason Eady, and this is real life, real music.
That was perfect.
That was perfect. I'm going to steal that trick. I'm just going to go, look, I'm going to play this song, and then you guys are going to go nuts.
It only works once.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, I see what you're doing now. I get it now. So I told you I was going to have my Porter Wagner moment. I like to call it my Porter Wagner without the sequence moment. That went over like a lead balloon, didn't it? Okay, so Lake Walk, the Stella Hotel, Destination Bryan, all huge supporters of what we do here. They've joined with me for now. Gosh, we're 5 shows in, so 12, 17. We've done 20 shows. We've co-presented 20 shows. You count our 3 in 2023, all of 2024, and up till May. And we've got some great ones coming up. Let's see, June the 9th, my new friend Eric Pazley, who's an amazing singer-songwriter from Texas, is going to be here. He's had some big old hits, Barefoot Blue Jean Night, and a bunch of Eli Young Band hits, and he's an amazing singer-songwriter. You're going to enjoy his music. And then in July, on the 14th, we've got Grammy Award-winning multi-instrumentalist, #1 hit singer-songwriter, Mr. Daryl Scott. I know you're a Daryl Scott fan.
Man,
he
big time,
is.
yeah.
I mean, you are in for a treat if you can get your hands on whoever's tickets you're sitting in. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this because we just booked it, and because if you would have ever told me I would get to sit next to this guy before I did get to sit next to him at Do-Si-Do, but now we're going to get to have him right here. It's going to be in December. Right here is going to sit Mr. Leroy Parnell. Is going to hang out with us, and we're going to get to talk to Leroy. And we got a bunch of great shows in between now and then. You remember Drew Kennedy had to replace Drew Womack, who had to go out on the road. And so now that we've got Drew Kennedy done, we're going to get Drew Womack back in here. We've got a bunch of great shows coming up between now and the end of the year. And they happen because of our corporate sponsors. And somebody in here is using CC Creations tickets. Kenny and Lena couldn't be here with us tonight, but CC Creations, they do our Real Life Real Music hats and about 90% of the rest of the music merch you see in the music business. So CC Creations, based right here in Bryan. I've got a handful of these hats. If anybody wants one after the show, come see me. They're $150. No, I'm just kidding. Come talk to me. We'll work something out. But CC Creation stepped up and became a sponsor of the Stella Sessions this year. And the company that really allowed us to start this thing back in January of 2024 is back with us again, and that's my friends at Blue Forge Alliance. Kylie, Melissa, thank you guys for what you do. You know, they obviously help support culture like they do here for us, but they actually are out on the front lines working hard every day with all the people over in that building and all over the world to help protect our culture in general in much more important ways than even the investments that they make allowing us to come sit in here and do this tonight. So thank you for all the ways you guys make sure we get to do this. Kylie, you and your team, those of you that are here from Blue Forge, thank you so much for what you do for us. All right. I think that is my housekeeping. I'm going to play you a song.
Yeah.
I just don't know what song I want to play you. What song do you play Jason Eady? That's kind of that's the scary question. Let's do. I'm going to play one for you. The very first night that I met you, and here's how I remember this, because do you remember? I think it was a house concert at Sharon Key's house.
Yeah.
Walt Wilkins was playing there, and he said, "Kyle, I want you to meet my friend Jason," and I think he got you up maybe to play a song or two. And then Walt asked me to get up and play a song, and he said, "Kyle, play that song that's on your new project, my favorite song that you have on there about Jesus." And I think I sang the first verse twice because I forgot the second verse because I was singing in front of Walt Wilkins, right?
Right.
And so anyway, I'm going to take 2 15 years later
all right.
and see if I can play it correctly. Most of my family grew up in the Houston area, and so I spent a lot of time there as a kid. And then after going to school here at A&M, thank you. I did the smart thing. I finished my high school career, middle school through high school in Dallas which could have been a logical place to go after I graduated from school here to look for a job. But I had met this cute little Aggie girl on the fish camp bus and ended up asking her to marry me. And so we were engaged, and she was coming down to Houston. So back to Houston I went. And so we've spent a lot of time in Houston over the years, and this song is, I guess, somewhat shaped by that. If Jesus lived in Houston, he'd walk down Quitman Street, where you can find a dime bag or anything you need. See the hooker at the corner crying at his feet. If Jesus lived in Houston, he'd walk down Quitman Street. If Jesus lived in Houston, he'd stroll through River Oaks, talk with politicians, tax collectors, finer folks. He'd start each conversation with his favorite lawyer jokes. If Jesus lived in Houston, he'd stroll through River Oaks. Yeah, and he'd tell us that we need him and tell us that he loves us, but most would just ignore him and we'd go on with our lives. But he'd say this ground is holy, 'cause we're all walking on it. Holy land that's worth enough to die. If Jesus lived in Houston, he'd walk Montrose Avenue and see nobody different than he sees me or you. He'd pass the night with strangers and buy a round or two. If Jesus lived in Houston, he'd walk Montrose Avenue. Yeah, and he'd tell us that we need him and tell us that he loves us, and most would just ignore him and would go on with our lives. But he'd say this ground is holy, 'cause we're all walking on it. Holy land that's worth enough to die. If Jesus lived in Houston, I know he'd walk down mine. 'Cause heaven knows I need him all the time. Hell, he might even move in to help me walk the line. If Jesus lived in Houston, I know he'd walk down mine. If Jesus lived in Houston, I know he'd walk down mine. Well, thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's great. I've been spending a little more time in Houston lately, and now I get it. I get those references.
Yeah. You know, I played that song. I grew up Southern Baptist, and so I played that song for my mom, and she said, "Okay, let me get this straight. You just wrote a song about Jesus. I've been taking you to church all your life, and you just wrote a song about Jesus that has hookers and pot and gay people, and do you know what all my friends are going to think about this song?" And I said, "Well, sorry, Mom. It's the song."
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. So, all right. I've been leading you around the place all night tonight, so I want you to just pick one that you want us to hear.
Oh, man. Okay, I want to do this one. This is one, I debuted this song on Real Life, Real Music. I wrote this with Courtney and Cody Jenks. We wrote it up at Cody's place. And the day that I wrote it, I woke up the next morning and we wrote it in the afternoon, and we all kind of camped out there. And the next morning I was coming down to play your show, and I said, you know, I'm going to play that song on the show. I'm going to play this song that we just wrote. And so I had it on a little sheet of paper. I didn't really know it that well. I had it written on a sheet of paper, and Cody made my tour manager Matt video me doing the song so he could see. He couldn't believe I was just going to go do it on a show, you know, the next day after we wrote it. So, but this is called Mean Spirits. See how smooth that was?
You know what? We'll edit that right out of the radio show, but that will live on YouTube in infamy. So don't worry.
They'll go, look at how quick he tuned that thing back up. Well, I've had enough of mean spirits taking me places I don't want to go. And I'm giving up on mean spirits. Gotta get back what's good for the soul. Well, I had to break up with the bottle. Started out fun, then it brought me down. And I had to ask myself some questions. And I had to get right with what I found. And I've had enough of mean spirits taking me places I don't want to go. And I'm giving up on mean spirits. Gotta get back what's good for the soul. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Find the ones you want to keep around. 'Cause others, they're like crabs in a bucket. You start to get up and they pull you back down. And I've had enough of mean spirits taking me places I don't want to go. And I'm giving up on mean spirits. Gotta get back what's good for the soul. Well, everybody's screaming at each other, and everybody's got something to say. Just turn off your TV and talk to your neighbor, and be the reason somebody has a better day. 'Cause I've had enough of mean spirits taking me places I don't want to go. And I'm giving up on mean spirits. Gotta get back what's good for the soul. Gotta get back what's good for the soul. Yeah, thanks. You know, my favorite part of that song is, well, I have a lot of favorite parts of that one, but that crabs in a bucket line.
That's a great line.
So when I was a kid, my dad, that was, when I was real young, I was hanging out with this bad group of kids, you know, and he came up to me and he said, look, son, he said, those kids, he said, they're like crabs in a bucket. And he said, if you ever notice, you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, if one of the crabs starts to get lucky enough to make its way up the side of the bucket and starts to get out, all the other crabs reach up and they grab that one crab and they pull him back down into the bucket with them. And he said, "That's you don't want to be with those kind of kids. They'll pull you back down." And so the rest of the time, I was growing up, if I ever was kind of in that situation, he'd just walk up and he'd just go, "Crabs in a bucket." And so we were writing the song, and we were trying to find a way of saying, because it starts off with "Show me your friends, I'll show you your future." So it was like be careful who you surround yourself with. And we were trying to find a way to say that. And I said, well, my dad used to say crabs in a bucket. And then they said, well, let's just say crabs in a bucket in the song. Yeah. So we put it in there. Now it lives in that song. It's really cool.
That's great. That's a great analogy. I need to go buy a bunch of crabs and go do a lesson for my kids.
Show them. Yeah.
All right. Whiskey and You.
Yeah. I can do that.
Tell us about that one.
So it's a Chris Stapleton song. I heard this way back before Chris Stapleton was a superstar. Courtney actually sent me, there was a demo floating around of Chris doing this song, just solo acoustic. And I said, oh my God, that's one of the best songs I've ever heard. And so I worked it up. And when I was getting ready to make the record that I was working on at the time, my producer, a guy named Kevin Welch, who was a big songwriting hero of mine when I was growing up, and I got lucky enough to meet him and work with him, and we ended up making 6 records together. And Kevin and Chris Stapleton were really, really good friends. They wrote a lot of songs together. In fact, that Millionaire song that Stapleton had that hit with a few years ago was a Kevin Welch song. And anyway, so he knew him, and so he called him up and said, hey, can we record Whiskey and You? And he said, yeah, I ain't never gonna do nothing with it. And it was before he was Chris Stapleton, and I mean he was the best already back then, but nobody knew it. And so I recorded it, and so the thing about that song is that my version of the song came out before his did.
Okay.
And so most people think that know my version, they think that I wrote the song and that he covered my song.
All right.
And I've just decided that if I just change the subject and don't say anything, it's not lying. See? But no, this is an unbelievably great Chris Stapleton song. There's a bottle on the dresser by your ring, and it's empty. So right now I don't feel a thing, but I'll be hurting when I wake up on the floor, and I'll be over it by noon. That's the difference between whiskey and you. We'll come tomorrow. Well, I can walk in any store. It ain't a problem. They'll always sell me more. Your forgiveness, well, that's something I can't buy. There ain't a thing that I can do. That's the difference between whiskey and you. One's the devil, one keeps driving me insane. Sometimes I wonder from my pain, and one's a long gone bitter truth. And that's the difference between whiskey and you. Well, I got a problem, but it ain't like what you think. I drink because I'm lonesome, and I'm lonesome cause I drink. And if I don't break down, bring it on myself, then it'll hit out of blue. That's the difference between whiskey and you. One's the devil, one keeps driving me insane. Sometimes I wonder if they ain't both the same. One's a liar, come to hide me from my pain. One's a long gone bitter truth. That's the difference between whiskey and you. That's the difference between whiskey and you. Yeah, thanks.
Very cool. Have y'all had a good time tonight? Before we get out of here, I want to tell you guys, many of you, have come to the last 20 shows, and so I feel like we're kind of like we're musical family. You're a glutton for punishment, and you still somehow trust me to curate something and give up a night of your life that you could be doing a lot of other stuff to come sit here and be on this journey. I want to, for you guys to be the very first, and I sat here thinking, okay, I should have really thought about how I wanted to say this, but I haven't, so I'm just going to tell you. On October 24th and 25th of this year, we are going to embark on a new part of the journey here in Bryan, Texas, as we partner with our lead sponsors, Blue Forge Alliance, Destination Bryan, and the Bryan Business Council, to bring you what we're starting in the inaugural year, October 24th and 25th, the Bryan, Texas Songwriters Festival. And my hope is that 50 years from now, when I'm not around anymore, that this festival is spoken of in the same vein of the Kerrville Folk Festival and other festivals that have sustained cultural relevance over the years and promoted the city as a place where singer-songwriters can come do exactly what we got to do tonight, and that is, come have a place where you have an audience of people that want to be inspired through word and song. And so the way we're going to do the festival, we feel like it's pretty unique and going to meet the needs of the community as a whole. There's going to be a free to the public aspect of the festival, where we're going to have a big stage the city's graciously donating for us to use, where we're going to have talent that plays all day long on the 25th. It'll be a mix of local talent, university talent, regional talent, and national talent that we're going to bring in to play on this main stage. But the way that we're going to fund the main stage is through a VIP experience that we're going to create in 4 different venues in downtown Bryan. We're going to work with the Palace, who's already signed on. We're going to work with the Stafford. We're going to work with Hush and Whisper, and we're going to work with the Speakeasy downstairs in the LaSalle. And we're going to set up opportunities for you guys to interact with artists like Jason, and really have some cool up close and personal opportunities to come listen to music. We're going to sell only 400 VIP wristbands. That's all, because we want to make sure that you can get a seat in one of the venues to hear what's going on during the times of this festival. We'll be announcing the lineup and ticket sales on June 1st. But what I can promise to you guys and to the people on the waiting list, you guys will get it first. The people on the waiting list for these seats will get it second, is the week before the wristbands go on sale to the public, we're going to send it out to you guys so that if you want to grab for yourself, your company, your family, whatever, because you've been a part of this with us up to this point, you know what? I'm so with you. Half the time I don't understand either.
That was pretty perfect.
That was awesome. I don't understand. I knew I should have thought about what I was going to say about this. No, our job at Real Life Real Music is to curate this. We're going to do this festival through our Real Life Real Music Foundation because a lot of the proceeds will go back into music education here in the community. We have our major sponsors in Blue Forge, the BBC, and Destination Bryan. We do have some smaller sponsorship packages that we still need to sell. So if you're interested in being a part of that, let me know, and I can let you know what that looks like. Otherwise, just know that we're going to give you guys first access to those VIP wristbands. And we're doing some cool stuff. I'm trying to bring back as many of the Aggies as I can that fit this festival from a singer-songwriter perspective. I can't afford Robert Earl or Lyle yet, so just take that out of your brain. Fred McClure's working on that, but we're going to, at some point, we're gonna build this thing where we can make that happen. But I've got folks like Jamie Lynn Wilson and Max Stalling. I don't know if you know a girl by the name of Juliana Rankin, but she just got signed by Big Loud Texas, and she is amazing. And she's one of the newer Aggies that we'll have on the stage. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. Corey Morrow, my new friends, the band Bottomland, Scotty Alexander, who is the fiddle player and used to be the band leader for Wayne Newton in Las Vegas. We're gonna put on a show for you guys, okay? So October 24th and 25th, go ahead and put that on your calendar, save the date, and I'll get you the information soon. So thanks for suffering through that commercial. It's going to be great. I'm really excited about it. And if you're interested in sponsoring, just let me know. Jason, dude, thank you. Let's not make this take as long to get this
anytime.
to
Just
get
give me
this
a call.
done.
Yeah, you know that.
I got good friends, don't I?
Yeah, you do have good friends.
They got nice hotel rooms too.
Yeah.
You can't get out of here without playing Cry Pretty.
Oh.
I mean, you got to play that song for us.
Okay.
I think we got time for one more. And guys, thanks for being such a great audience tonight. I hope some of you drank margaritas or something. I think it's Cinco de Mayo, right? So if you didn't, drink a few, then drive home. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go home and drink margaritas. That's probably the best thing about COVID was to go margaritas. So maybe, I don't know if they do that at the Stella, but don't drink any more here. Drink them at home. Okay.
Okay, Cry Pretty. I'll leave you with this. I know it's been a while since I've seen you, girl. Funny we should meet up at a place like this. Sure, I've got a minute, but I can't stay long. I got someone waiting for us outside. Well, damn, you sure look just like I remember. It's too bad things turned out like they did. You got that same look in your eyes now. Last time I saw it, you were leaving. Has anybody ever told you you sure cry pretty? You stand tall and move with grace. Has anybody ever told you you sure cry pretty? Your tears fall, they don't leave a trace. Yeah, I thought about you for a little while. Yes, I guess I still do now and then. If only this had been another time, girl, baby, it might just break me down. Has anybody ever told you you sure cry pretty? You stand tall and move with grace. Has anybody ever told you you sure cry pretty? Your tears fall, they don't leave a trace. Time for me to go. I hope you understand. I'm sure that you'll be fine once I'm gone. I'm sure there's someone out there you can turn to. Just keep your head up, girl, you'll be fine. Has anybody ever told you you sure cry pretty? You stand tall, move with grace. Has anybody ever told you you sure cry pretty? Your tears fall, don't leave a trace. Thanks, Sean. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jason Eady.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thank y'all for being here tonight. As always, we'll see you next time for Eric Pasley. Y'all be safe going home, and happy Cinco de Mayo.